Welcome to the Survivor's Paradigm, a soul shifting channel dedicated to the continued evolution of abuse survivors through education, outlet, and subconscious empowerment. The goal of the Survivor's Paradigm is to educate survivors of all forms of abuse regarding both the psychological and physiological impairments resulting from their trauma. I too am an abuse survivor. I existed in abusive foster care from the age of 3 till 18 years old. During that time, I was constantly beaten and emotionally put down, resulting in a myriad of afflictions that I have carried with me for a lifetime. This channel provides a comfortable and open forum for discussion and is also oriented towards creating a supportive community for all abuse survivors. Lastly, the survivor paradigm would like to teach effective strategies in truly overcoming any internal demons that exist so that we can all live in peace and prosperity. Today, I want to introduce you to this channel. A survivor is a person who survives a traumatic event. That event can be physical abuse, sexual abuse, you can be a witness to abuse, you can be a result of an act of God, or you can be a part of an accident. Statistics of abuse will shock you. In the United States alone, there are 17 million victims of child abuse. And I'm sure that number is higher because a large percentage of statistics are never reported. 1 in 5 girls and 1 in 20 boys is a victim of child sexual abuse. And nearly 30% of kids between the ages of 14 and 17 have been sexually victimized. That's almost 1 in 3. In England, more than half of child abuse victims suffer domestic abuse later in life. Nearly 1/3 of child abuse victims are later sexually assaulted as adults. We are all familiar with the cycle of abuse that continues from a child until adulthood. I will get into more detail regarding this cycle in a later video. These statistics not only illustrate the upward trend in developed nations of abuse, but they do not include the millions of victims who exist in third world countries. This problem of abuse is becoming more omnipresent worldwide, resulting in an increased number of afflicted adults. You may be asking yourself, what is a paradigm? Well, simply put, a paradigm is a conditioned habit or programming instilled through repetition. Human beings have two forms of paradigms. One are physical and one is emotional. Additionally, paradigms can be both positive and negative. An example of a positive physical paradigm is the unnecessary thinking thoroughly through tying your shoes as an adult, or brushing your teeth, or putting in contacts. These are established programs that we developed as children that make our lives easier as you get older. Where there's positive, however, unfortunately, there's always negative. There are also associated emotional paradigms that can be negative. If you are told that you are worthless, you will believe it for a lifetime. I know this all too well, being told that I was a piece of shit almost every day of my childhood. I have carried this inability to manage my confidence throughout my adulthood until recently. Or if you were beaten by a parent of the opposite sex, you may have trouble with that gender for a lifetime. This trouble typically resonates in relationships, especially for women or girls who are beaten by their fathers. They may have trouble trusting or believing in a relationship in a man later in life. These paradigms control your behavior on a subconscious level. Subconsciously, you may not know or understand why you are acting in such a way. The results of the conditioned programming instilled over years of repeated abuse directs your actions, it directs your feelings, it directs the way you interact with other people. This channel is necessary because treatment does not counteract these problems. Treatment does not face these problems straight on. Current medical treatment for the everlasting effects of abuse is largely ineffective. Mental health treatment for the residual afflictions typically treats the symptoms, but not the problem. If you suffer from depression, anxiety, PTSD, those did not generate out of nowhere. Those are a result of some pre-existing condition. However, most mental health professionals do not treat those pre-existing conditions effectively. They may try, but it is typically not effective for the patient. 1 in 6 Americans take antidepressants with only a 40% effectiveness rate. Only 40%. Again, therapists do not fully understand the scope of abuse. Therefore, they cannot effectively provide treatment to counteract the complications. Therapists rarely prescribe effective care because therapists rarely have ever survived abuse. Patients receive so-called expert care or treatment from people who have never walked in the same shoes they are currently walking in. What gives a therapist the right to prescribe any form of treatment when they themselves have never experienced the trauma? Some would say that medical school provides the necessary information needed to make sound professional recommendations. That is absolutely not true. Medical school provides the book knowledge and the observation knowledge gained through clinicals, but not the innate knowledge needed to fully understand the complexity of surviving abuse. Abuse is a multifaceted impact on both the body and the brain of the victim. The complexity of resulting afflictions cannot be diagnosed or cured through a standardized approach. Treatment is not as simple as casting a broken bone. Treatment requires a thorough understanding, and that understanding can only be gained through personal experience. This all may sound bleak, but there is hope. The survivor paradigm will provide you with an entirely different approach to your emotional well-being. You will learn new strategies and techniques to not only manage your daily afflictions, but to move beyond them. You will begin to feel hopeful, promising, and above all, healthy. A revolution is forming, and we are at the forefront of establishing a plan that may not eliminate abuse from occurring, but will prevent that abuse from damaging the remainder of our lives. I invite you to join me in this journey. Feel free to subscribe to this channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. Until next time, I leave you with these empowering words. A pivot to your subconscious mindset will benefit you both inside and out.